Welcome to In Conversation with MANWAR podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Do Not Be a Bystander campaign. You can join us in raising awareness about bullying by visiting donotbeabystander.com, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay informed about upcoming episodes. Today's participants are Marab, Sarah, and Tausif. Our special guest of today's episode is Saba Zaman.
Welcome to our Bullying Awareness Podcast. I'm your host, Manwar Khan. Today I'm joined by a couple individuals who are ready to share their thoughts and insights on the topic of bullying. They all have the same goal, eliminating bullying from community, from schools. These young individuals are passionate about addressing the issue of bullying and willing to empower others. Today's participants are Tosif, Sarah, and Mehrab.
Hello.
Thank you guys
Hello.
for joining us today. Before we continue, I would like to introduce our special guest for today's podcast, Saba.
Hello.
Hi, Saba. Saba just completed her MBA. By profession, she's a teacher and she's very passionate about helping children on fighting bullying. Today, Saba will shed some light and share some thoughts about the role of bystander and some ways bystanders can intervene in the bullying situation. Now that we have introduced our participants and guests, let's get started with our first round question. So my first question goes for Tausif. Bullying is a significant problem that impacts students and schools around the world. This issue can manifest in various ways, such as physical aggression, verbal abuse, emotional manipulation, and cyberbullying. So my first question for Tausif is, Tausif, can you give us some information about what do you think what bullying is? And can you talk about different types of bullying with some example?
Oh, yes, sure. Bullying is basically a form of aggressive behavior that is intentional and repeated. It involves the imbalance of power or strength. And it mainly occurs in various forms, such as in schools, workplaces, or sometimes in online platforms and communities. There are many types of bullying. Let me start with verbal bullying, which involves word or language that might hurt others, such as calling name in a weird way or insulting someone or teasing someone or spreading rumors about someone. Um, there are many bullying like physical bullying, which involves physical force or aggression to harm someone, such as hitting or slapping someone. There is also relational bullying, which involves harming others by damaging their reputation or relationships by excluding them from a social group or spreading rumors or making fake news about someone. There are other things like cyberbullying, which involves technology to harass or threaten or harm others, such as spreading hurtful messages or spreading rumors online or posting embarrassing pictures or videos. Bullying can have severe and long-lasting consequences for the victim, including psychological distress and anxiety, depression, and sometimes it might turn even into a suicide. That's why it is important for us to recognize and address bullying and behavior and to provide support to those who are affected by it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Tausif, for your wonderful insights. And yes, bullying can have a, like Tausif mentioned, bullying can have a profound impact on students and school environment. Students who are bullied may experience physical and emotional harm. Thank you. So my next question is for Sarah. Identifying if someone is being bullied may not always be clear, as bullying can happen in various forms, I mentioned before, and victims may not always openly disclose that their experience. They feel alone, they feel shame, they don't want to share that with anybody. So my question for you, Sarah, is how do you know if someone is being bullied? What are some signs that someone may be victim of bullying?
Well, in order to find out if a person or the victim, him or herself, is being bullied, we can find out a few red flags which may show us that the person is being bullied without them like speaking to us. So there may be a few signs one can use to identify if a person is being bullied or not, such as the victim may have visible marks or injuries that they might not had before. Past trauma, like that may lead to an irregular sleeping pattern or which can lead to them skipping their meals, might be something related to what happened at school or at their workplace when they were getting bullied. Then they might lose interest in school's work that may lead to their grades declining gradually, and which may also make them lose interest in going to school. The victim might not want to communicate with everyone or even be antisocial about it, and they might not even discuss about them getting bullied with their family members and even with their siblings. They may start to act or dress as if they never did before and may become defensive about it when they're questioned about it. And they may have a reduced self esteem. They may also start to talk about or attempt to self harm, which might be a little too vigorous for those who are victims in bullying.
Excellent. I totally agree with you, Sarah. Victims of bullying, I have seen, I mean, sometimes they feel alone, isolated, afraid. So I found out being a friend to someone who is being bullied can make a huge difference. Thank you for your response, Sarah. So there can be various reasons why someone might bully another person. My next question for Mehrab is, what do you think there are the reasons why someone might bully another person?
Well, I think everything has reasons to do so. We do things that because they have a reason to do. With bully, that is the same things. With the bullies tend to do this to get themselves a sense of superiority, to gain some power, popularity within a school or a workplace. They need some sort of gratification within themselves that makes them feel good. It gives them pleasure. They also tend to be controlling, so that they have the sense of power that they can rule others, tell others to do things for themselves, etc. But in my opinion, the most pertinent reason will be that it's widely spread around the world that the bullies who bully do this because they face problems in their own homes, especially when they see their father might be an alcoholic, abusive type of father, or in their homes the things are not going too well. They have family issues, family problems. Their parents may be getting divorced. They have no one to talk to. They have no friends. They have no one to share their feelings, and generally who understands them. They cannot cope with their feelings and tend to hurt others. That's their coping mechanism, to excruciate their pain out of themselves. Uh, to They don't have the coping skills to manage their pain in a healthy way, so they externalize their hurt onto others, and this is a concern.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Merab. And also, sometimes they internalize it. Um, some people bullying and the victims internalize it. I'm talking about victim actually. They internalize it and they don't tell anybody, and then become frustration. It led to depression and all these kind of things, right? So again, for the bully too, sometimes they internalize it, whatever going at home, they don't tell anybody, but after internalizing that, it's impacting him or her and changing his behavior. and maybe bullying other people, right? So yes, I totally agree with you. That's a great answer. Thank you, Merab. So with the first round of questions completed, it's time to move on to the second round. You guys did a great job. Thank you. In the context of bullying, there is a term called bystander. Can bystanders can play an important role preventing and stopping bullying. My question for Tausif: what is bystander in the bullying situation? Can you give me one example?
Yes, sure. A bystander is basically someone who witnesses the bullying behavior but does not participate or intervene to stop it. Bystanders can have a significant impact on the dynamics of bullying and play a crucial role in preventing and addressing it. For example, a group of students may be teasing or insulting someone or someone in the school in cafeterias while other students are watching the incident. Some of the bystanders may laugh or encourage the behavior, while others may feel uncomfortable and want to help the victim but do not know how to intervene.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that's true. So there is a term when it comes to bystander. There are two terms: active and passive. You can watch and see what is going on, and like Tosif said, yeah, you're laughing, you're enjoying it, but it's actually hurting other people and encouraging the bully to do more. So the best thing, I'm not gonna talk about that right now. I know Saba will be uh, share her knowledge on this part, but I also want to mention only one thing, that if you see something like that, you do not want to be a you want to be an active bystander, and which it means that you either walk away from there, you don't stand and watch, you walk away from there, try to get help, or you try to help. When you try to help, you have to make sure, is this situation safe for you? You cannot go and jump in a situation when it is not safe for you. You first assure this is safe for you, then you try to get a help or try to help that person. Excellent answer. Thank you, Tosif. It is important for individual to recognize the role of the bystander and responsibility if we want to create a safer community and environment. So my next question for Sarah: one of the type of bullying is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can have serious negative impact on victims. So can you tell us what cyberbullying means to you and give some example? And what do you think how it can affect people's mental health?
Well, cyberbullying is basically a form of bullying that takes place through devices such as computers, mobile phones, and laptops. It may happen at any place whenever the victim is, whether it is in their house, at restaurants, at malls, or anywhere, to be honest. It usually happens in platforms like social media sites, online games, or messaging apps. And some examples of cyberbullying may include humiliating someone, making the victim feel lonely, using offensive and disturbing languages at the victim, or even spreading misinformation about that particular person. As cyberbullying takes place online, once such false rumors have been spread, it may be hard to get rid of any evidence, as it may gain a lot of views, even from the people the victim may not know. Therefore, I believe it may most definitely affect the victim's mental health, which is really a saddening thing.
I agree with you. It is important for individual to be aware of the potential harm that caused by cyberbullying, and we need to take steps to prevent it. This can include different way we can do it. We can educate people. What we are doing today, we are having the discussion, and I'm talking to you. That means that does not mean it stops, ends here. You go from here, you talk to your friends, let them know that these are not right. Even if you see something like that, do not respond. You just say that no. I'm not going to read this message. I'm not going to look at this picture. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to let that person know that what you did is not right. So this is our role. You cannot really, we cannot stop cyberbullying. We cannot stop bullying, but we need to do our part, right? Like Sarah mentioned. Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. It is important to stand up to bullying and help those people who are bullied. So why it is important to stand up to bullying and help those who are being bullied? Why? So this question is for Merab.
Bullying enables a person to spread hatred and negativity throughout the environment. It is a serious issue that can have a lasting impact on a person's mental health and emotional health. So it's one's topmost duty to stand up against it. To do so, the first initiative is to gather friends and peers who are against bullying and make sure that no matter who is in trouble, whoever it is, we will help them. Because bullies tend to mostly target lone individuals to inflict the most fear upon them, because that is easier for them to do so. When we're in a group, when we go somewhere in a group, they won't be able to do it. So because if they tend to do it, another person will be able to step up to him and confront him that this is not right. What you are doing is not right. The second will be to scare away the bully themselves by confronting them with the help of the authority. In this case, it might be a school authority, your teachers, parents, principals, etc. Uh, in this, we will punish them here, but not in a sense of vengeance, but in a sense of justice. Setting up a bigger picture will also encourage others to do the same thing. And lastly, people who have been bullied, encourage them to develop coping strategies that can help them with bullying. Because as Sarah Ryan said, that these impact them emotionally and mentally, that it might also lead them to commit suicide, which is very concerning and very saddening. So it is our topmost duty to stand up against bullying, because we have the power to do so. If we come together as a group or a community, two against one, two can beat easily that single person. So we should always stay together as a group and a community. That is. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. So with the thank you, Merab. With the completion of our first two round questioning, we move on to the final segment, that is group discussion. We have a common question for everyone, but I would like to invite our special guest Saba to share our thoughts on the role of bystanders and the ways to intervene in bullying situation. Saba.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you, Manwar, for giving me the floor. So, before starting, I would like to say that I'm truly amazed by the thoughtful and insightful responses of these youngsters. Merab, Sarah, and Tausif came up with really good points, like the consequences after someone is being bullied, their mental health condition, which other than the victim cannot feel. So, very well said, everyone. So if I have to talk about the role of a bystander, I think a bystander has the option of two roles to play. Either he or she can stand and watch the victim to be bullied, or rather be a bystander, they can be an upstander by stepping in and helping the victim. So now it's in their hands whether they want to be a hero or a zero. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Saba, for your insights. And I totally agree at that point here that it is important to take a stand against bullying, and it's up to you. It's your choice. You wanna be an active or passive bystander. You can choose to watch. You can choose to walk away and try to get a help for that person. But always remember that it is first, safety comes first. Your safety is first. You are safe or not. If it is safe, then try to help that person. Never say or never think that this is not my business. So let's go to the last segment, which is my last question for Tausif, Sarah, and Merab. Uh, Preventing bullying requires community-wide effort. What can we do as a group or community to prevent bullying? I'm not going to pick anybody. You can volunteer, whoever wants to share their thoughts.
Mm. I would like to share my thoughts that we can prevent bullying by raising awareness, by educating the community about the negative impacts of bullying and how to recognize and respond to it. We can also establish some clear policies and punishments for people who are bullying, and we by this we can get a bit of rid of bullying. And we can also encourage the bystanders by promoting that everyone has a responsibility to intervene when they witness bullying and provide them with necessary skills and tools to do so.
Excellent. Thank you, Tausif.
I think we should stand up for the victim and make sure he or she gets enough support from the people around them, and also hold the person who's responsible for bullying the victim accountable for their actions. And in order to stop bullying in our community and raise awareness about it.
Great answer. Thank you, Sarah. Anybody else?
In my opinion, the best thing we can do as a group or community is to raise awareness, just as Tosif said. We should also educate the people the impact of bullying and provide knowledge on how to prevent it. We can implement anti-bullying policies in schools, set up campaigns that teach why bullying is wrong and consequences of it, and also provide support to those who have been bullied as a therapy, and to understand how they're feeling, and to make them understand how to cope with these. And lastly, in my opinion, the most pertinent point will be that is to help. We are helping the victims, right? But I think we should first of all try to foster an environment for the people who do bully. As I said before, that the people who might bully, most of it comes from them having traumas in their homes, and so what we should do is we should enable them to be heard, and also help them overcome their traumas that makes them other people's. And we should be there for them and help them be a better person so that they can cope with the situation and move forward in a positive way, here helping others rather than hurting them. So I do believe this would be the best way to reduce the amount of bullying that is going around the world, and also make people feel better with themselves. Thank you.
Yeah, such a great answer, Mehrab. And Saba, I know when you were doing your MBA, you did your research, and one of the methodology in the research is root cause analysis. What Mehrab just mentioned, you need to find out why this is happening, why this person is a bully, right? I mean, we always blame them that okay, that person is a bully, but actually we don't know the other side of the story. Uh, it is we have to create a safer environment for them as well. This is everybody's responsibility. So if we can do that one day, eventually, maybe we will see that it is reducing bullying. Excellent, great answer. Thank you for participating here and engaging in this conversation. Anything else anybody wants to add before we end? If not, I want to add one more thing here in this question here. um, as a community and group, what we can do, what I used to do when I was at school. I was never a bully, but I had lots of friends who were bully, and I have seen that at the corner, a guy was eating lunch, and some of my friends would be going and bullying that person, maybe taking the lunch, throw the lunch box or something like that. Um, well, My friends are bullying the other guy who I don't even know. So the best way I did is I became a friend to that person. The moment I became a friend with the victim, the bullying stopped because they are part of, he is part of us now. So this is a message for you guys too. If you see a victim alone, isolated, please try to be there for that person. You don't know. You just being there for that person might, sorry, might give them a power or empower them to handle the situation like that. And bully to think that, okay, he's there, Mehrab is there, Tosif, Sarah, Saba is there, they're friends. So and they're my friends. So I'm not gonna bully that person anymore. So things can change. So try to be there when person need. It's not only for bullying. Anybody in your entire life, if you see somebody is in need and you can help, try to help that person. That's my last comment I wanted to add here. We have come to the end of the episode. I would like to thank our participants, Tosif, Sarah, Mehrab, and today's special guest, Saba. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Before we wrap up, I would like to remind our listener that there are several resources available to help individuals dealing with bullying. The government of Alberta has bullying helpline, which is always there to support and provide advice those experiencing bullying. And the helpline number can be reached at 1-888-456-2323. Bullying is a violation of human right, should not be tolerated under any circumstances. We all have a responsibility to speak out against bullying and not to be a bystander. Thank you for joining in conversation with Manwar Khan, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.